hear the terrifying story of that night in the Haor area. At 10 p.m., I went to the Haor area to catch fish, but within a short time, one strange thing after another started happening. Huge catfish, empty nets, and things I could not believe even when I saw them. And when I thought it was all over, something even more terrifying was waiting on the way back. This is not just a fishing story. This is a true incident from a terrifying night in the Haor. Let's get straight into the story. We were standing right in the middle of a flooded field, knee-deep water all around us. From there, they were slowly trying to lure us deeper into the river with some kind of trap. There were 3 of us, me, my cousin, and my brother-in-law. That night, we went fishing. It was around 10 p.m. In our village, this is a normal time for fishing. We had brought a current net with us. With that net, we entered the Haor. Water everywhere, knee-deep, and in some places, even deeper. While spreading the net, the 3 of us moved in different directions. The Haor was so vast that one side could not even be seen from the other. Everything was silent, only the sound of water and distant frogs breaking the silence. Each of us had a flashlight in our hands, which was our only support in that darkness. Then the 3 of us spread out in different directions with our nets, one at one end, another at the other end. Everything was dark, and we were only working in the light of our torches. Suddenly, I saw huge catfish jumping everywhere. One would leap from this side and land on the other. Another would come from there to here. One even jumped right over my head. But the strange part was, whenever we pulled the net, there were no fish at all. The net was completely empty, and when we spread it again, it felt like something was tearing through it and escaping, but nothing was visible. No fish in the net, yet all around us there were sounds of splashing water and movement everywhere. That's when a strange fear started building inside my chest. It felt like something was not right. As we kept working, time passed and it was almost midnight. Suddenly, something even more unusual started happening. The fish began jumping in a way that felt almost intentional, like they were trying to hit us. They would come out of nowhere, strike, and disappear back into the water before we could even understand what was happening. It felt like this was not normal at all. Something very terrifying was going on. I could feel something was happening to me. Out of fear, I slowly started stepping back. Then I almost ran and moved toward my brother. But strangely, it felt like the fish were chasing me, jumping behind me again and again. When I finally reached my brother, everything suddenly went silent. The water became completely still. No sound, no movement from the fish. It was like nothing had ever happened. I went to my brother, breathing heavily, and told him everything. "Brother, something really strange is happening to me." At first, he looked shocked and said, "Where? Where are they?" We were standing there talking. Just a few minutes after we finished, everything started again. I saw the water didn't even feel like water anymore. It felt like it was full of fish, huge catfish everywhere. And suddenly they started jumping again, one after another directly towards us. They were hitting the water hard, making loud splashing sounds. It felt like they were not just jumping, they were coming at us. But my brother is a very brave man. He doesn't get scared easily. He took the stick that was tied with the net and stood his ground. Whenever a fish jumped toward him, he would hit it away, one after another. Anything coming close, he struck it down. We slowly tried to move out of that place, but the more we moved, it felt like they were surrounding us. It went on like this for a long time, like we were trapped in some strange game. But deep inside, we knew this was not normal. Something seriously worse-ing was going on. By then, it was around 2:30 a.m. The entire Haor was covered in deep darkness and silence, and the 3 of us were trapped in something unknown. Our brother-in-law was also with us. He was calling us from a distance, shouting again and again. But strangely, we could not hear anything, and he could not come to us either, as if an invisible force was keeping us apart. We kept moving from one place to another, chasing those fish. At some point, we didn't even realize where we were going. While moving like that without noticing, we had already left the knee-deep field water and reached closer to the main river. It felt like they were guiding us forward, jumping in front of us, almost like they were leading the way. It seemed like they were deliberately trying to take us toward the middle of the river. We had completely lost awareness. Our minds were not working properly. Slowly, we reached very close to the riverbank. That's when I suddenly regained a bit of clarity. I understood something seriously was wrong. I understood we were heading straight into the river, and if we went any further, there would be no way back. We would drown. I suddenly told my brother, "Brother, stop. These are not real fish. They're luring us. They're trapping us." But he was still stubborn. "No, I'm not going home without fish tonight. I need fish no matter what." He kept chasing them like he couldn't stop himself. I raised my voice again. "Brother, try to understand. These are not normal fish. They're confusing us, pulling us in. If we go any further, we are finished. Please come back right now." After a lot of convincing and repeated requests, he finally stopped. Slowly, we started coming back from that place. By then, it was around 3 to 3:30 a.m. All three of us were exhausted, and deep inside, there was still a fear that we had narrowly escaped something dangerous. In the end, we didn't even stop to fish anymore. We pulled up the net, but surprisingly, there was not a single fish in it. That's when we understood we were done for the night. We turned on our flashlights and slowly left the area. Later, we also found our brother-in-law. He was a bit far away, in another part of the Haor. He hadn't faced anything unusual. We went to him and told him everything in detail, how we kept seeing so many fish, how they were jumping, and how it felt like they were pulling us toward the river. He said after hearing everything, "God saved you. You did the right thing by coming back in time. These were not normal fish. Something took the form of fish and came in front of you. You are lucky you didn't fall fully into their trap." After that, the three of us started heading back home, but even the return path didn't feel normal. After going a short distance, we came across a pond. Around it were thick bushes, covered with vines like pumpkin creepers surrounding the whole area. As we got closer, it suddenly looked like small ducklings or chicks were running across the road, a lot of them at once, making strange chee-chee sounds. It became hard to even move forward. We stopped for a moment. After a while, everything went completely silent again. Nothing was there. Then when we started moving forward again, something suddenly rushed towards us like a duck. We immediately turned on our flashlights and pointed the light at it. As soon as the light hit, it seemed to disappear. This kept happening until around 4 a.m. when we reached near the pond. The road passed right beside it, with thick bushes on both sides. Right then, we saw something inside the bushes that looked like a small baby, maybe 5 or 6 months old, sitting there completely naked. When we saw it, our bodies went cold. Goosebumps covered our skin because nothing about it felt normal. Inside the bushes, we saw a strange scene again, a baby-like figure completely naked, sitting on top of the bushes, moving strangely and screaming. My brother immediately said, "That's a baby," and tried to move forward to pick it up, but my brother-in-law stopped him right away and said, "No, don't go. This is not something normal." Still, we couldn't fully understand what was happening. Fear and curiosity both were there. We tried to move closer a few times, but the baby-like figure suddenly jumped right in front of us, screaming in a strange way. It kept us stuck there for almost half an hour. Every time we tried to move forward, it came in front of us again, as if blocking our way. At one point, my brother said, Maybe we are spiritually unclean. That's why these things are not leaving us alone. Instead, they are surrounding us. But honestly, it all felt completely unnatural. Sometimes it looked like a duck, sometimes a chicken, and sometimes that baby-like figure. It kept changing forms. We could only understand one thing clearly. This was not a normal incident. While all this was happening, suddenly the call for Fajr began. As soon as the call started, everything changed. The baby-like figure we had been seeing suddenly disappeared right in front of our eyes, and in that very moment, everything stopped, as if nothing had ever happened. We looked at each other in complete shock. We couldn't understand what had just happened. Later, my brother said, "These things don't stay during the call to prayer. God saved us. Everything that happened to us was probably a trap, but in the end, they couldn't harm us." That's when we realized we were lucky enough to return safely. This was our terrifying night in the Haor. It started as a simple fishing trip, but ended as a strange and frightening experience. We were lucky to come back at the right time. Otherwise, just thinking about what could have happened still gives us chills. Lessons from this story. Avoid going to risky places like wetlands or remote areas at night without proper preparation. Greed and stubbornness can make people ignore danger signals. Even in groups, staying alert and listening to each other is very important. In fear or unusual situations, staying calm and thinking clearly matters. Nature should never be taken lightly, especially at night in places like Haor or waterlands.